set the mood with some of your narrations and things, and then I'll just kind of follow you.
Okay,
A little bit of poetry.
a little bit of poetry maybe. This is about the truth. The truth and the truth concepts. Now, my books, most of them are poetry that grew from the events and the life that I have lived in this country. Now, in 1966, I came to this country. I was already someone that have really experimented with art. I have written since I was about third, fourth grader. I even remember my first one. But I don't read it to anybody, but it was in Arabic. And it's a collection of paintings and poetry that developed into sort of, as I started reading them, you know, it got me in a place where I saw some unity in some of them. And since it was the events now, like this book, my first book is The Source. And The Source started actually in 1966 as I came to this country. And the first thing, the thought was of the immigrant, you know, how did you really, why would you leave a country and go to the other? But then as I grew, it started, humanity started taking over in a way where the other people started being the interest and really the source for me to comprehend the world around me. And so my first poem is called The Source, and it goes like this. Walk gently, partner and companion of this life. We are all coming to a mysterious sleep from which we may not come back alive. How many tears, how much blood, and how many bodies paved that road for us before. You may value the perfumes and the roses of your hope. You may have deep feeling radiating from your love, and you might be given the gift of a gentle wind and a song sweeter than any bird song. You might carry the innocence of a newborn and carry a love like a mother loved her only child, and a smile gentle and sincere like the hope that changed into reality. Give the needy his just right, and the orphan his dreams with kindness and his needs, and the lost show a way to righteousness, and hope for love, and spread it, you'll find it. Be gentle, sincere in your effect, be patient and truthful in your dreams and tolerance. All of us sharing a limited time, and the dust of this earth is the remains of those who passed us by.
Could you also give it to us in Arabic? I want them to hear the Arabic.
Actually, that poem especially, I wrote it in Arabic, and it was very hard to translate it into English. Trying, you know, the struggle is for the, you know, the rhythm and trying to stay, even though you know, free verse was the way to go, but it wasn't all that easy. And actually, somehow it might have a rhythm in Arabic. So. أختي برفق يا من بالدنيا رفيق كلنا آتينا غامض الحلم ولن نفيق. كم من دموع دماء وأجساد رصفت لنا ذاك الطريق. عاطرة ورود أمل وعميقة شعاب حب. وهبت خفة الريح وأغنية كتغريد الطيور. براءة طفل مولود وحب لولد وحيد. وابتسامة وديعة مخلصة كالأمل تحول إلى حقيقة. أعطي السائل رزقه وحقه وابن السبيل مقصده ورشده. واليتيم حلمه وعطفا وسؤله. وأمل بالحب وانشره تجده. كن لطيفا بوقعك وأثرك. صابرا صادقا بحلمك وتحملك. كلنا رفاق زمن قصير محدود. وأديم الأرض رفات من تجاوز ولم يعود.
Very, very interesting.
Now, the way that I arrived to the English is really a little freer than Arabic is a little more descriptive language. And when you go from Arabic to English, it's easier actually to go from English to Arabic if you didn't write it. If you wrote it, it is very, very hard to actually go to that.
We have recorded him reading the poems in Arabic, and then was it with English and then followed by the Arabic?
Yes.
And you could just hear one right after the other.
Yeah, the one set, works that shadowing the other, if we could say, or it's like an echo of the other. And it is. The second point in this is actually this painting was the source. It wasn't only one painting. I had 3 paintings, but in the book I chose this. The other painting was more like of nature. Did it really happen on its own? So it was more like nature and things. And this was a little more of the mystery of the space, the mystery of the distance, and in reality it is the mystery of the time. And this is why, so it could be a prophet just standing and light around it, it could be anything, but at the same time, it is to me, it is somewhere where we thought that there is a star, and it comes through. My second point in this book is about really a hint to the solution. What is the solution of understanding the source? Mostly, to me, it is in the unconditioned love. And there is my poem ties with this, which is in here, it's easier to see. And it's about actually, we think of Mother Nature, and to the human, it's really the mother. And that's, if we look at that and really see in her, that's her. And one time I was in Starbucks. I was in this cafe that wasn't here, some years ago. And I saw a child that his mom has taken him out for the first time. And she and her mother were there. And she brings the child in a basket, and she is, she put him down. And I looked at it, and she was talking to the kids, and the kids wanted to jump out of that, out of the, the little basket and really go to her. So that I wrote it, and I wrote it in Arabic, and I actually made a copy of it and gave it to the child, and I said, one day, I hope you'll understand what that's it. And this is the poem. A kiss of a mother from a deep and sincere heart and the laughter and a dance of a child asking for more. The call from a heart that beats love. An onlooking eye enchanted to the innocence of the moment. How can I reach more beautiful worlds than that? And where can I find that kind of devotion and sincerity? The beautiful Creator singing righteous song. Oh, mankind, find a way to peace somehow. Now, as that goes, we find that, we as human, and as humanity, we look at the world in a different way. Now, we really have our little world and the actual world. Our little world is this Mother Earth. So, in actually 1982, I wrote this, and it was when a couple of years ago something happened in the Gulf. It was extremely moving to me because this poem was almost like a prophecy. Now listen to it. It's called The Tears of the Apostle. The earth calls upon all humanity. O you who are intoxicated with the wine of your ignorance, find a way out of this wilderness. Enough cruelty. No wars, no destruction, no pollution. Know the truth, O mankind. Accept the challenges. Seek goodness, for the tears of this earth are continuing to fall, and the body is bleeding. Yet the hand of man is very slow in giving, and the pulse had weakened from the torture and the pain. Oceans and mountains polluted, lakes and rivers weakened and dried, and the skies loaded with the poison of rest, about to give birth to disasters that we could not handle, that may destroy this life, the earth. The apostle cries, the last apostle cries, feeble and weakened, from the rejection of her messages, rivers of tears and hope. But the silence could be the last call. Now my painting is that painting, and it's where the whole, the earth, as it started, all the lower layers where we actually have the, the oil formed and all of that, and we dug in it with towers and things, and just reached under the ocean and brought that up just to smell it in the empire. Just exactly that, neglecting what's happening around us, what's going in the world. So that's what that was about. And of course, every point is not exactly what you have to think of it as it is related to the painting. What you see in the poem, what you see in the painting, not necessarily what I have seen. Because not all of them are one done for the other. They are something that was paired and something that part of the meaning. The painting cannot really tell everything in the poem, and the poem cannot tell everything in the painting. In 1969, I worked at the VA hospital a little while, and then 70, 71, it was right at the end of the of the war in Vietnam, the end of the Vietnam War, and these kids coming in there. One of them was named, he lost his arm and his leg. And I remember talking to him. He had long hair. I realized I drew him with a long hair originally, and then I had to change that because it reminded me if he came to my place in any way and saw that, he's going to recognize himself, because there are a lot of things that are about him. He's saying he should stand there and look at the windows, and at the second floor at the VA hospital where I was doing the research, and he'll say, I'm going to spin around here in the second floor, then you see these stairs. One day I'm going to just jump with the wheelchair all over. I say, man, what are you high on? You need some really flying lessons, buddy. Anyway, so I called this Great Expectation. And it is basically, I've never finished it without crying because I remember the guy and I remember this actually long one. We'll read it if we have more time, but I want to probably move to something that is more related to the artist. And that's, every one of us has that area in that spot where there is invention, where there is art, where there's all of these things. Every one of us, every morning when we think about it, and every evening when we dream about it, we suppress it. We just don't want it to come about, because we're afraid of what's around us. And that's actually this painting, which happened by mistake. I'm trying to make a circle in there. And I drew the circle, but I didn't have a good saw to cut around. And so I used that in cutting every edge, trying to make the circle more and more. And when I did that, I finished, and I came the next day and I looked at it and I saw all of these signs. And there was something about religion and things that I heard. And so I decided that each side could represent a religion. And all of it are not neat completely or complete. You see, the cuts are not exactly great cuts. It's like all of us in our life and the religions, the cuts are not really. It fits, but it not necessarily fits everybody in the time of their life. So I wrote about how it feels, the spirit and color. The color he created, and so he created the light, as he created the religions. Leading the hands of the artist with feeling and passion to show the beauty and the depth of his love and creativity. Soft. When it touches the color that is, it mixes. The colors are like religions, interacting. One gives birth to the other, encompassing the spread of the light and its effect in the universe. And when it dries, it turns into magic mirrors, showing the fall of the light, identifying and distinguishing, preaching, singing, and chanting about the absolute values with which the Spirit enriched us through his love and his creations. Now, go ahead.
I see that you have several paintings with very dark. And are those a series? And this dark, in fact, black that you have, how does that feel? I mean, what is that expressing to you? Because you have some that are very light. Full of
Oh,
light.
I
And
grew of the occasion, actually.
it wasn't a series at one
It
time.
wasn't a series, but there is some connection, actually. This and this and this and this have something to do. They have a connection.
Yeah.
This is called the prayer of the city.
Mhm.
Instead of drawing the city itself, you see, everybody, if you are God, everybody is coming to you with something different. And you have to listen to all of them. So the city is giving, from its structure, like you could see the blue and the river, you could see there are a lot of things hidden in that, from statues of liberty to every building that you could dream of. And when I used to take my friends to look at it, I will take a small frame and I'll go from one area to the other and put that and say, oh, all of it, it's really, every part is a complete part, if you take it, but yet it is. So, because it's coming from everyone, every human has his needs, his demands, his things, his escapes, his prayers in a way, you know, for something or to get rid of something. And imagine God listening to all these prayers and all of these, and trying to answer all of them. And in Islam, it's said that every prayer is answered, is going to be answered. So, you know, it's trying to draw the inside. Now in this, I started with the mind and the heart of the leader of the prayer. You see. And the leader of the prayer stand in a place in the mosque called Mihrab. Stand in the center, and it's a little like a circle that is, and he stands in front of it, and he says and worship and repeat part of the Quran, and he's the leader, the imam. Anyway, but it is not one religion. It's every religion. And so you see the color, not really, it's coming from there. Now the trick is this. Every one of you that stand in there, in front of it, is going to see himself and everybody in the room. So we're all in the painting. It's coming from us. You know, if you're blind, what does it mean? Nothing. If it's dark, what does it mean? So you asked about that, about, you know, the dark. You see, if you look at your hand, you can see all these lines and something, all what you need, and all of us can do that. Put your hands like this, and look in that little hole. And as you try to see more and look inside, and it gets darker, there is nothing. You see? And so, but then you open a little, and you see that. So this is, again, is the part of our heart that is just one step behind the mind that you got to really, you know, find and see through, in order to see something else. While in real life, it is the other person and the reflection of how the other person responds to you and you respond to it. That makes the difference. Anyway, so that's where that painting started. And the next one was about, it's called questions. And each and every one of us, how are we on time? I just saw that, okay.
The way we're doing the music and the questions today, it's all together. So it's not so separated as usual. So
Okay.
just go ahead.
Okay. Questions. I question the light while it is moving away from me. When did the time know all about me? And is it my fault if the days tested me? Where can I run and who is there to bear my loss? I distance myself carrying my pain, seeking understanding, knowledge, and tranquility. I found anger, weakness, and poverty. In a moment, my lovers distanced themselves away from me. An angel. The mystery colored the innocence of his dream, hoped to be led to righteousness and understanding. With the color, with the light, with the dance of his brush, exposed his passion loudly in a colorful song, and shakes, O humanity, gently. I give you all the love I have, with your science, with your imagination, and with the spirit of the light. Push the ignorance and cruelty away from me. O Father Time, kindly, you have known my history and seen my origin. And with your mystery engulfed my secrets and my destiny. Please make love and good deeds my intentions through to eternity.
Then hold that up for them to see. He's reading this freelance. He's looking at the Arabic and he's reading you. He's translating
This is
directly
actually,
from the Arabic.
when I lose some of the meaning, I go and really go to the Arabic that is in my mind and bring it back and try to see. It's there's other books that I have not translated completely yet, where I would actually read straight. This book happened to be translated even in Spanish, as some people know. Somebody in here has read some of it in Spanish. So it's when I get stuck in the English, what I do, I escape in my mind to the Arabic and remember the word that was there and come back with it to tie it back, which is actually, this is part of the translation. I don't go every day and read my poetry. I have 23 books, and this is my first book. So it's usually the one that is, the new one is the one. And a lot of times I lose, part of it in, not really in the translation, but in whether I really gave it its right, what it really meant initially. Maybe I should go and read it in Arabic. But I'll be reading it to myself. The next poem is related to that painting. And this is one that I was in pain, and I sat and I started painting, and I remember painting and painting and painting. And then I came the next day and I did, and the day after, and every time I had, I spent on it. And it's probably 2-3 layers. So, and the reason why it was right when I lost one of my brothers, and I could not go there. I went and I saw him, and when I saw him saying bye to him, I have, I knew I was not going to see him again. You know. So to me, it was, you know, an experience where the only way I could describe it is he is part of me and I am part of him, and I could not really let go, but it was like a man chasing himself. And that's the point, was a man chasing himself. And so that was purely done in that, and purely the writing was absolutely related to it. I just did it. Where do I go from here? Which direction do I seek? I asked the seasons, and I did not get an answer. I wonder why it drowned me in my misery. Is it true or fiction, or maybe just a mirage? Where is my comprehension? Where is my sense and serenity? Spring and summer are coming, then winter, undoubtedly. Oh, promise me, flowers of my dreams, that there is in this feeble existence good life coming, even if the time leaned on me, losing the people I love. Give me a reason to continue despite the torture and the pain, dancing in my heart and in my blood. Oh, oh, the sorrows of this life. Oh, you sorrow who portrays happiness, rightness, and good living, let me tame my feeling, living my art. Tolerate me, invite me, forgive my doubts and my weaknesses. Do not worry about me, for I am lost in my sorrow. Accept from me optimism, for I am not that solid and strong, nor am I welcoming to catastrophes. It's enough for me to be hurt and depressed. I do see happiness is impossible to reach, but I am tempted with my thought, for my hopes and dreams betrayed me, and the time continued to laugh at
me. That painting is full of light and energy, movement, and life. And this happened when your brother died, so your inner being told you that he is in the light. That painting's about light.
It's about his being part of me continuously. You cannot, you
Well,
know,
that
we
would be the
lose
movement,
people
yeah.
that we love, but we cannot just quit, because we kill them completely when we quit on them. You know, because you have to continue.
Well, that you're saying with the light, and that says it goes on.
Now, this is to my friend that asked me about the prices. You understand, I didn't pen to sell. See, it's an abstract painting. It's not really, it's just something to, but I am not saying that I am, but in what I did, I painted in the same theme and the same theory, but something like that, I mean, you know, I feel almost it's like
How do you sell it?
Huh?
How do you sell it?
I have to sell it inside. You know? And it is really something, but I will, and I am not all that, you know, well to do. I work in it. I'm a tennis professional. I teach tennis. I'm a biochemist, so, but I don't work in biochemistry. That's it. You know, I told you about the VA hospital.
By way of introduction, he is also a contractor. Has been a tennis pro, a poet, and a painter, and a teacher. His wife is in charge of the educational program at Church of the River, and he has taught Islamic studies there. All right, so that's kind of a back way introduction. Since
he missed on the introduction in the beginning, probably.
I missed on my Bismillahirrahmanirrahim Rabbil Alhamdulillah. That was the call to prayer. I didn't get to do that either.
Well, he has lived in the Middle East, and he knows in the name of the most merciful God. And that's, you know, it's the mercy actually. A lot of the Muslims think the real name of God is Ar-Rahman, which is the merciful, you know, the merciful compassion. Ar-Rahman, Rahim. And they choose that. I think the names could vary, but the spirit satisfies. The next one, the next painting is actually some politics.
Oh, wow.
You know, it happened when, you know, I think there are two paintings in here that are politics, and I don't know. It's about how human create problems in politics out of, you know, just the lack of passion. And so it's called Lost Lover. It's about Jerusalem, really, and how Jerusalem is built for all the religions to love. Yet all these religions that Jerusalem was there for them cannot really get together on loving each other at the same time of loving them. For the Muslims turned and prayed toward Jerusalem when they first came, first 10 years of their, you know, they turned and they prayed toward Jerusalem. And it is the second holiest place other than Mecca, because in the Quran it says, okay, you're turning to Jerusalem, but really the first house that built for worship, it wasn't in Jerusalem, it was the house that Abraham has built, and it is Al-Kaaba, or in Mecca. So it said, turn toward the first house that Abraham has built. And that's, you know, but it says at the same time, wherever you turn, there is God. So it is just anyway, lost lover. So all these people that love Jerusalem, that love the thing, we cannot find. Or you who is lost loving, realizing your passion and crying, seeking a refuge of feeling that injures the heart, making it bleed. Fearing disasters continuing its toll, and drinking cups of poison to kill the thirst. He cries till the morning, listen, and shows up, as if the tears were the messengers to the darkness. Have you ever accepted forced love? Have you ever, or have you loved because you are lost and for revenge? Have you ever felt comfort with cruelty? And did you ever live to adopt a conflict? When the night starts falling at midday, and the strange doubt overcomes you, you hate every second, and you have hated for centuries. Have you ever been taken over with doubt? Did it almost drive you crazy? How do you earn your living? Is it through imagination, magic, and artistry? And when did you imagine justice to be an illusion? Have you denied the one that created you? Or is it just the magic and the beauty of the eyes that overcome you, lost lover?
Would anybody like to ask questions about the paintings or about the poems?
You are free to almost interrupt me. Unless if you're enjoying it, then I guess you might tolerate me. Go ahead.
The painting, you haven't said anything about this painting behind you, and that one is the most graphic, except for this one here. So I'd like to hear about that one down there.
It's actually coming somewhere.
We've had Walid on the Bookman show, and we did an hour special. And that, I'm not sure when it's coming. It's on Comcast cable television at channel 18 at 9:30 on Saturday night. But we're going to have DVDs available, and it will be up on internet television as well.
I am sure it's here. Looks like it is here. The name of the painting is Time and Dreams. Yes. It is the future and the past in that little vertigo that you see. See, a moment that is lived and a moment that imagined are almost equal. You see, after the moment that you live, what do you find? It's registered. And it is similar to that moment that you imagine, even if it is in a dream. And that travels with you. See, you really, when you are in that, you're never lonely. You see, and the living is continuing. And it is a vertical, like.
Yeah, a spiral. A spiral.
Where, you know, if you could look at it and it comes at you, or it moves away from you. It is, there are a moment where right in here you could be with your child. There is a moment right in here that you could be with your lover. There is a moment that is all of it, you know, mixed together, and there is an interruption, you know. And so all of that coming in and going is time and dreams. It is the days that continue to toy with me. And while I am lost between nirvana and the passion, I see all the drunks filled with hope, and all the hopes and the dreams my truth and in my thought, songs and beautiful dancers. For through the night all secrets are stored. The beautiful eyes complain, filled with tears, for the crumbs and the drops do not nourish or satisfy the thirst. And in the horizon, the dream still toys with our lives and our hearts. The peace elusive to the eyes of man, even though the time continues, witnessing our destiny through to eternity. It is what goes in everyone's mind. You know. Actually, I'm glad you did that because we skipped it. We went to that one about Jerusalem, and somehow it. This is,
You got time maybe for one more, if you will.
okay, living vision. This is probably the poem I wrote in the 60s. And I thought that it is, you know, it was a long poem, pages and pages. But I just took only one segment from it because of the fact that I wanted to relate it to our ways of connection. You know, how do we connect with God? Whether you're Catholic, whether you're Muslim, whether you're Hindu, whether you're whatever you are, you connect. The real connection comes on your own and in your own way. The others, all of it, is active. So, living vision. Search your heart and search your mind. A thought was born and another died, weakened and hidden, fell apart. A heartbeat of a lover shakes freely and whispers. If you listen carefully, you hear a passion calls you to the light, wonders and doubts. Test and restore your faith and believe in love and in the source.
Any questions, please? All right, well, we will have some music, I think, played more later, and then Walid will be here to be around a while to answer some questions. I want to remind everybody that this is the core concepts, and we've been bringing people from all over to talk about various religions, spiritual disciplines, and so forth, what they believe, why they believe it, and what they're doing about it. And that's the purpose of it. It's something that you're probably not going to get at the university or at your local church. Though we do have Reverend Eric Donaldson from the Unity Christian Church coming next week with his musicians. And the week after that, Dean Graves will be here talking about the raw material. And then Kenpo Rinpoche will be here the last Sunday of this month, along with Candia Ludi, who is the director of that meditation center on Yale, where Kenpo is. So those are the types of talks and lectures that we're having, and questions and answers. And we try to get an hour on tape. When these are taped, we have Pam Drennan here one day working with the heart walls. We haven't set it up yet, but I hope to have that. So that's the kind of thing that we'll be having at the Core Concepts. This is sponsored by One Community Center, the Institute of Applied Metaphysics, Church of Revelation, and our new IAM-WELL Association, which is an association of non-allopathic healers, energy workers, or whatever. All right. Anyway, you want to finish with a little final comment for everybody, and then we'll have a little music.
I would like to,
All right.
to really have their questions of any kind, whether it's related to now, past, future, whatever. Man, somebody that answered everything.
You did such a good job, there's no questions.
Yes, that was beautiful.
Or I was so boring.
It's very good. This poetry is very
It's a
good.
challenge to find something.
Could we have a little music?
I could talk a little about my other books, since I am here.
Okay.
Like my other books, I have one book that's called Election Blues, and it is related to elections in these days and what we have to go through. And it is really interesting how we really form our thing. Like, for example, this is in the booth. We have all of them. And this is, where is it? And the one in here is the celebration after somebody is elected. You know, you don't know, just suddenly there is no, you know, everybody is really, it's a happiness and all of that. And here, you know, this is about how they treat us as if we're little kids, and everybody trying to tell us what we really supposed to really understand. But on the other side, I betray them where they are the ones that are like, you know, in a debate. The debate is very interesting. And this, the fear is very interesting. We all fear everybody that is, you know, and again, there is 19 paintings and 19 poems in this book. I was hoping we're trying to rush and try to bring this before the election, but I don't know if we're gonna be able to do something like that. My other book is one that is called Mississippi Mud, and it's my experience in the South and what happened. And you know, this is one of the paintings that's in it. It's only on the cover actually, and it is when I married to my lovely wife. We went on a trip through Natchez and all of that. We went into the whole deep South and into these plantations and things. And actually, while I saw the building, I tried to see the spirits and the people that were there. And that painting was about that. And, you know, and there is one poem that I don't mind reading if there is time. And it is the one that is about actually about the Mississippi Mud. And that's the one where I read it from Arabic directly. It's actually, again, from that trip. Because as I started driving, we crossed the river and we started driving there. And, you know, we start seeing the spring coming about and all of that. The dream rolls, and it's in Arabic. The dream rolls, I think I need glasses even though it could be from somewhere else. The dream rolls with the water and the color dance. The road to Natchez invites you. Bloom of azaleas whispers, spring is here. It conveys songs, colors, and tunes. The brush of the artist played, lost its movement is like that of a ballet dancer. A walk here, a leap there, and a sway, moving the fingers of destiny to fix the feet of nature. Green branches, deep and rich in color, dances in the wind, astonished of the depth of the beauty. Pink, purple, white, red, lilac, all of it colors that make the heart and the mind and the eyes happy, and tells and make famous stories about the hidden beauty in nature, and whispers to mankind, oh, mankind, enjoy life. And that's what I like to end with.